This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories.
And welcome to my review of Andor Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3. I'd say either the best name for this is either the TIE Avenger arc or the Wedding arc, and I like the sound of TIE Avenger arc better, so that's what I'll be going with in the title, and genuinely incredible. The hype was totally worth it. I absolutely loved every single second of this. They just had this perfect balance between a dark tone and knowing when to be comedic and when to have action, when not to, and just absolutely brilliant, brilliant writing. There's just so much to go into. So much happened over the last roughly 2.5 hours, and it was just absolute perfection and insanity. I absolutely loved this, and I cannot wait for next week's. Yes, I would prefer to have gone week by week just to build up the hype and anticipation more and more, but I also just love watching all of this. I'm getting, not just me, but everyone's getting 4 incredible Star Wars movies, and, oh, they're essentially movies because these 3 episodes all take up one storyline. But yeah, if you just haven't watched them yet, please, please go watch this because at this point, unless you directly watched all 3, there's absolutely no way that you finished it. So please, please go finish it because I'm going to be jumping around this different storylines. I am not going to be going episode by episode because due to the fact that I watched all 3 at the same time, they're kind of mixed together in my mind. And I want to talk about each individual storyline on its own. Now, going into it, there is a few different storylines. Most major ones are the Mon Mothma one and Cassian's. And actually, Mon Mothma is one who takes the center stage of this. Well, also the one with Ferrix, people Ferrix, but the two biggest ones are probably those two, and then the Ferrix one is just after it. And then there's one side stuff of the Imperials and Deidre and everything with it, with her and Cyril. And just going into that specifically, well, the Deidre storyline, it's honestly super interesting. I'm going to be talking about it in reverse order because the first we see of her is definitely the best we see of the really all of it in the season, but going into everything with Cyril, honestly, I loved how pathetic Cyril was in this. It was it was just genuinely great to see him go and I mean just trying to please his mother being just absolutely pathetic. It was just incredible to see and hear. I said multiple times laughed out loud just how desperate he was. I just found it just genuinely hilarious. And yeah, I mean, it was maybe not intended to be hilarious, but I just find Cyril just the absolute best, and it's just great to see him go and be this absolute like perfectionist and have to go through all this just absolute insanity to try and please his mother. And he's even trying to avoid having Deidre meet her because he absolutely despises her. And then we just get this absolutely great dinner between them. There's just so much tension. it is just genuinely great as you have Edie going and just absolutely destroying Cyril, having absolutely no problems going and doing this, and it was just absolutely incredible to watch as she's doing this. And you could see Cyril's taking every chance he can to get out of there. And then there's the absolute best part of it is when Cyril's like, I just need a break for a minute. Deidre goes and just shows genuinely how much she cares about him, and it was just a great scene with her as she goes and is like, "Oh, I don't care what you're doing. I know just how desperate you are to have a relationship with your son. I'll make sure you have it as long as you treat him well, and don't even try the Uncle Harlow stuff because I've looked at his criminal record." It was just genuinely incredible. I loved that scene. It helps bring humanity to Deidre when, yeah, she's just not a good person. Everything we have been seeing from her, especially the stuff with Krennic, which I'll be talking about in just a moment. It just makes her this monster, having Dr. Gorst going and torturing people and everything. It was great. I absolutely just loved it, and I think that it was just great to see her being a little more human and see that she actually cares for someone, having this relationship with Cyril helps humanize her and shows that she's not a complete monster because she was pretty humanized in the first season, and then that just went out the window and she went with the absolute insanity of the torture from Dr. Gorst. It was just it was just incredible to see that with her, and I mean I just really loved it. But going to this secret meeting, oh that was one of the best parts of the entire 3 episodes. Krennic was incredible in that. I absolutely just loved everything with him. Van Mendelsohn just did a great job playing this just absolute psychopath, and it was just truly incredible. I just genuinely had such a great time while I was watching it because you just see how Krennic goes and he just wants to get this thing done. There was such a great little kind of information video about Gorman and it's setting it up. This is gonna be a really major event, so I'm really excited to be uh, building up to the Gorman massacre, and that should be not next week, but the week after, based on how just how the timeline goes. I know that it takes place, and I believe it's three. Three next would be three. I think it was in takes place in two BBY, which is gonna set it in that one arc, and I discussed that in my season prediction videos because, well, the storyline video because, well, that's when it has to be set because of Mon giving that speech right after it. But just everything being set up with the Gormans, it just looks genuinely just extremely interesting as they want to use the planet to get a very rare mineral to go and build the Death Star. And yeah, that's what they're doing. The entire, oh, we need it for some energy project. That's just absolute baloney. What they really mean is they need this to go and build the Death Star because, if I remember correctly, in Catalyst, which is one of the prequels to Rogue One, that was basically the cover story for what the Death Star project was, what Galen Erso was working on until, well, he figured it out, but it's also what is being told to the public. So it's going to be just really interesting to go and see that continue on because it looks like this absolute massacre is going to be happening just for the Imperials to be able to go and build more and more of Death Star. And I'm just really, really excited to just see how this goes. It looks like they're going to almost certainly destroy the planet of Gorman when they go and mine it. And it's just gonna be super interesting to see. I do wonder if we still see the fact that Gorman Massacre is at least partially an inside job. I think that with Deidre saying they need rebels to do the wrong things, I think she is going to go to push for just absolute atrocities to happen, and we're going to see a group of rebels, most likely influenced by Luthen also, to go and fight back against the Imperials before this terrible thing could happen, and make it look like the Imperials did it to cause the people of Gorman to revolt. But that's going to be exactly what Deidre wants them to do and justify her exterminating the people of Gorman and going and destroying the planet. It's going to be just so interesting to see. I really, really can't wait for that. And yeah, I've only talked about literally the smallest part of it, and I'm 11 and a half minutes into the video. I haven't talked about the big storylines, and well, if I could talk minus intro for probably about 10 minutes about literally just this small storyline. I just don't know how big this video is going to be, but definitely not going to be regrets because I just love Andor and love talking about it. It's such a great show. I've been waiting, I think it's what, 2.5 years. I was literally counting down the hours to this, and although I was delayed by a few minutes, because I had to do a few things before, I was watching this as close to its drop time as possible, and just had a few internet connection problems. I was able to get through this all in one sitting without having to exit out besides going to just fix my internet connection. But yeah, absolutely just a genuinely incredible first part of the storyline. And now it's time to move into the wedding storyline. And it was definitely an interesting one. We have a very straightforward storyline, although a lot does happen. We get to see a lot more evolution of Mon Mothma, her having some problems with Tay, and just kind of the chaos there. As I said, it's very straightforward, but she wants to let her daughter know that she doesn't have to do this, and she really just doesn't like it. And I can really feel her discomfort, and then ultimately just see how hard this was on her at the end, where after she learns that Luthen has to take Tay out, she's getting absolutely drunk and going off at the party. It was honestly just really interesting to see, and I think it was just pretty exciting and pretty interesting, as I said. But just going through really everything there, everything with the wedding it was just really interesting as you get to see this just different culture and customs. And to my knowledge, this is the first time we ever got to see Chandrila in anything that isn't a book or a comic book. So really, it is just super interesting to see that planet and just to have it explored and be able to see all around it at different points. Not everything, but mainly the Mothma Estate and some other major locations. There's even another mention of the Rakatans, and it's honestly just super cool to get that. It is just such an interesting group, and I do wonder if we're gonna see any more from them because Well, we got two mentions of the ricotta in this, and I'm wondering if the KOTOR project is going to be made canon because, from what it sounds like, it's just going to be a remake of the game and still be set in the original EU continuity. But that's a different topic for another day. Yeah, the game's even still being made, although apparently it is, although there's no real proof of really anything besides people saying it. But yeah, just go through the wedding storyline. Honestly, it was just super super great, and I think that the really everything with the wedding was really well done. I do like the little tension they built, and having kind of everyone there was great. It was super well told, and I think that it was just a genuinely incredible story. One thing to talk about that I nearly forgot was that great scene where Cyril is going and has a position that he was on the other side of in the last season. I just broke out laughing just how pathetic he was in that scene. It was just so funny to me, and I just love Cyril for that reason of just how absolutely pathetic he is. But now going into the main storylines, we have Bix Brasso and I don't remember the guy's name, but it was the son that went and did the that his father was interrogated and he threw the bomb. And honestly, it was just a super interesting storyline as they're on this planet. They're going and they have to kind of blend in, but they don't want the Imperials to figure out who they are because, well, they are gonna be, arrested and taken out by the Imperials. And honestly, as I said, it was just super compelling to go and watch this. The storyline there was great, and they definitely did something that is very unique to Star Wars towards the end. Something that hasn't been shown in any live action, animated, or anything really outside of books. And well, I definitely know that because I'm currently doing a complete EU movie, show, and audiobook reread, and it was mentioned in the events of Shatterpoint, which I'm currently reading, and I read the part where it was mentioned earlier today, and on the other side, there was also, I do remember mentions of it, and I believe it was one of the Tales of Jabba's Palace stories where Boba Fett goes and talks about how it is really immoral and he doesn't want to do it with Leia, even though Jabba offers her to him. And honestly, it's just really, really interesting that they went with this. I can't say the word, but the word starts with an R, so you could guess what crime that was. And it was just really, really interesting that they went there and, well, that they just straight out said the word where, yeah, they're being uh, very, very explicit about it, where they're, not saying it, but being very clear that's what was going on. But then they just went straight out and said it. It is just genuinely insane that Star Wars is able to go this dark and, well, honestly, I don't really mind it. It just shows how sick and depraved Imperials are trying to go and take advantage of others and use that position of authority. But it is just genuinely just sickening to see just how just genuinely horrible they are. But it also just helps with storytelling because you get to see just well also how horrible they are. And yeah, it's just definitely interesting that they went with that. With everything else, I really liked the community they had set up there. How really everyone was finding someone besides Bix who, yeah, she still, I think she still says something for Cassian. She's obviously lying when she says that Cassian is her husband, and that is just to keep the creep of an not ISB, Imperial officer away. And honestly, it's just really interesting. Oh, and speaking of ISB, another thing I forgot to mention was the whole thing with Deidre really being disappointing that she can't go after Axis and has to do this Gorman job, and it does make sense. She saw Luthen as a very good target, but this is actually going to work for her because, well, Luthen was so careful and he wasn't worried at all when he was told that Deidre was looking for him. So it seems like that at least for now she would have really no chance of exposing him. It's probably going to be exposed eventually. There's a reason I put that on that one bingo card, and I fully expect him to be exposed and dead by the end of the season. But so it's honestly it's just gonna be really awesome to see. I think that I'm really excited for Luthen's fate to be revealed. And I feel like Deidre is gonna be part of that somehow. But I think that with her current path that it really wasn't gonna go her way. But now going back to that main storyline, it was it was just honestly insane for us to have those nightmares of Bix having Dr. Gorst going and haunting her, and it was just a chilling scene. I saw him, I was like, wait, that's Gorst. Why is he here? I was like, oh wait, no, this is a nightmare. I love just how tortured she was, and it was just really incredible. Oh, well, not incredible for her, but incredibly well done. Seeing just how tortured she was over everything that happened to her in season one. Now going through honestly just everything else with the storyline. I do like the everything with B2 as he is. He's just so set on Cassian coming. He knows that Cassian is gonna be there for him, and it's just really great to see him with that. And then also just everything with him was it was really great. I really enjoyed it. Now going through just more of it. It was as I said it was just super well done. I really did enjoy the stuff with it, and I really liked B2. And well, they better have gone back for him because B2 is the absolute best, and he wasn't on the TIE Avenger when they escaped on it. Although I fully expect them to have gone back for him because another theory of mine is well, B2 becomes K2, and yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm fully expecting that to happen. But just going through more of it, really just is that so many just incredible moments in this. It was really sad to see Brasso die. I honestly thought he was a great side character, and it was just a really tragic. Now going through just so much more of it. As I said, just so many just great, incredible moments. I think that this has just genuinely been amazing. I am just so excited to go and see it, and I still have one last storyline to talk about. And I'm nearly at the end of my Andor season 2 footage that I've recorded because of just how much I loved talking about it. So I'm gonna have to go grab some more footage because I was assuming 25 minutes was gonna be enough, but well, apparently it wasn't. And yeah, honestly, it was, as I said, it was just a just great storylines overall, and just thinking if there's anything else I'm missing before I go to Cassian's. I really don't, but just all these great little moments. I just really loved everything happening with everyone. I think the characters have been just incredible in this, and well, now it's time to move into Cassian's story, and yeah, I'm already at over 25 minutes, so let's go into that. And honestly, it was just incredible with Cassian. I did not expect the entire storyline with the TIE Avenger to be the start of his story. I thought that would be an entire arc of him patrolling the facility to go in to take it, and just to my just a genuine surprise, that's how it started. It was some great little kind of funny scenes where he's trying to learn how to fly it and he's crashing it everywhere. But eventually he does master it and flies out. It was just honestly a really great scene where he goes and gives that speech to the one worker who goes and preps it for him. He's telling her, I understand everything. You are sacrificing a lot to do this, and I understand that. It just, Cassian just has this just great change where in season one, he was just so selfish, so self-centered, and that slowly changes through those different storylines. Where at the end, he puts his life in Luthen's hands, and Luthen accepts him, and he goes and, well, Cassian is now fully into the cause. He doesn't want to die, and definitely wants to find ways out still, but if it's possible, but he's fully loyal to the rebellion, fully loyal to Luthen, and it is just genuinely super, super interesting. But now going into the super interesting part where he goes to his rendezvous and what turns out to be Yavin 4, and well, that's one to mark off on my bingo card. I'll show what I've marked off so far at the end, although that's the only thing so far, but I have to double check the card I have, which I generated a few of them until I found one that I really liked, and I feel like I have one now that's gonna get basically like guaranteed bingo. Although technically all of them would be guaranteed if because they're all things I think would happen, or at least could happen, but the one I have set up is the one I feel like a really good chance on. But yeah, I'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but just continuing through this. I absolutely love those rebels because, well, they're just genuine like morons. It was just really great to see how both sides were fighting against each other. They really they just couldn't make a decision. They weren't loyal to each other. They're just all terrible people, and both sides turned on each other. It was just great to see all this infighting when they were doing the whatever complex version of rock paper scissors they were doing. I was like, these guys are just genuinely insane. But I just absolutely love it. These guys just feel like people are extremely desperate and really can't trust anyone. It was, I was basically just laughing every time I saw it on there because I loved them in it, and they were just some just absolutely fun, insane chaos it was just really great to see. But yeah, Cassian having to go and basically be imprisoned by them and have to see just how crazy these people were was just great. As he was their prisoner, he was going and telling them, this is what you have to do. You can't be stupid. You have to do your perimeter. You have to collect rainwater to drink. You guys you guys are probably gonna be in big trouble if they go and move the TIE Avenger to be able to go and shoot here. So Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just great. I just love that group. It was just a genuine highlight to go and watch their complete idiocy, and it was just a lot of fun. Then after Cassian goes and escapes, leaves them behind, and we see that this actually is Yavin 4. You see the Great Temple in the background. It is. I'm counting that as them discovering Yavin 4, and honestly, it was just really cool to see that. I was kind of insignificant location, and it turns out to eventually become the Rebels' main base. It was just a really cool little reveal, and just going through it, really everything was it was just genuinely incredible. As I said, I just truly just loved it. I think Cassian did a great job in this, just showing his change, showing that he is working for a greater cause, and now that he's here, he also cares about his people. When he learns that they're in trouble, he immediately goes and jumps to Lightspeed to go and protect them, not caring if that's going to put him in danger, and he flies in and absolutely massacres the Imperials. It was hard for him to have to leave without Brasso, but he knew that he was dead and there was nothing he could do for him. And yeah, honestly, just truly tragic, truly great, but the writing was, it was just genuinely incredible. I cannot wait to go and see this next week and see the new episodes. And I can't wait to go and rewatch just because there's at least two people I'll be rewatching this with. So, as I said, I just genuinely love Andor, and I cannot wait to go and see what's happening in the next arc, which will be set a year after this one. And I mean, I just love that little thing where it has the little BBY thing popping up. And yeah, honestly, with this coming to the end, I think that this was just a great reintroduction to Andor. Did such a great job, and I just genuinely loved it. But I want to know what you think. I know this is well, I don't know if this time is out because my thing kind of froze up for a little bit. I think this is at like 33, maybe 34 minutes. But yeah, honestly, it was just genuinely incredible. So do want to know what you think, and here's a quick look at the bingo card for me, and you can go to my community tab and create one for yourself. And if you do get bingo, just email me, and the first three people to get bingo will go and congratulate them on the community tab. So yeah, honestly, as I said, just let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.